Greetings, people, humans of Earth. How are you? I hope you're well on this fine Sunday afternoon. At least it's fine here. In the Pacific Northwest, it's already 80 degrees at 11 in the morning, which is very unusual for here. Not unusual if you're in the South, very unusual if you're here in the Northwest. I thought rather than I've listened to the Pulp album a couple of times, actually 3 times since Friday, and I really, really like it. And I thought rather than just do a video where I'm spouting my opinions, which I'm going to do anyway here, I thought why not try a live stream and see if people show up to this? They probably won't, but I thought I'd give it a shot. I miss having a conversation about records and bands that I like. So rather than me just spouting at an empty camera, I thought that I will do my review as I normally would in any video I do, but also invite it to others to join in and comment or not. And in fact, I'm assuming that no one will pop up to my live stream, but that's okay. I'm still going to trudge forth and do my video here and then see how this goes. It will probably fail miserably, but I'm going to give it my best effort. So, Pulp, more. I really like this album. I don't know that I was expecting to like it as much as I do, but I do. I really love this album. I think it's fantastic. And as an old school Pulp fan and a big time Jarvis fan, I I'm trying to find the right words. It's funny listening to this because if you were around in the 90s listening to Pulp and you were really into what they were doing and you appreciate what they do and you appreciate what Jarvis does and the things that he's done for music and such, he well, I shouldn't say he. We're going to talk about Pulp here. More is it seems like they just haven't been gone for over 20 years. It just seems like they're getting on with what they've always done. The new album doesn't sound dated. It still sounds very prescient. It still sounds very of its time. Usually when a band goes away for a long time, like over 2 decades, for example, when they come back to make an album, it sounds forced. It sounds different, usually not in a very good way. The members have aged. You can sense that they're out of touch. It just doesn't work more often than not. And that's just my opinion, but that's usually the feeling I get when it comes to a band making a new, like a comeback album or whatever. I don't think more is that. When I hear more, I hear Pulp just getting on with business. It sounds like another Pulp album. It sounds like they never lost a step. And that's a great thing. I love this album. I listened to it for the first time at the end of last week, and I thought this is pretty good. And then I've listened to it a few more times since, and it's like, wow, this is excellent. The band is still as tight as ever. Jarvis's lyrics and songwriting are still as funny and witty and uh, you know introspective as they've always been. I like Pulp. I've never been a huge Pulp fan, but I am a huge Jarvis fan. But the new album More is excellent. I think if I were to compare it to any other Pulp album, it would probably be This Is Hardcore. That's just an opinion. To me, This Is Hardcore has always been the best Pulp album. Again, I've only listened to More 3 times now, but upon the first 3 listens, it really reminds me of This Is Hardcore. I think it's an excellent album. Love it. And I don't think Jarvis's lyrics have gotten any less biting or satirical or funny or sensitive or warm or emotional than they've ever been. I think Jarvis is just getting better. There are songs in the album that I like more than others, just like any album that any of us ever listened to. To me, I think at least at this very early stage, I think the best song in the album, this is just my opinion, but I think the best song in the album is the last song, A Sunset. It's beautiful. It's Jarvis, you know, I was just gonna say he's middle aged, but he's starting to approach his golden years here. Like his salad days are way behind him, but he still has that biting sense of humor and this ability to kind of, whenever I hear Jarvis singing, his lyrics and his delivery always kind of remind me of a friend coming up and putting his arm around your shoulders and saying, "Hey man, I understand. It's going to be okay. We're going to get through this together." I think that's why a lot of people love Jarvis. He's got that ability. And no more so than on tracks like A Sunset. I love this track. I feel like the whole album is kind of building toward this final crescendo that is A Sunset. Beautiful song. The whole album is great. He brings on Chili Gonzalez for one of the songs, The Hymn of the North. It's the second to the last song. Great song. I love Chili Gonzalez. You Jarvis fans know that Chili G and Jarvis made an album together. What was that, 5, 6, 7 years ago? I don't even remember now. They put out an excellent album back at that time, and he brings them back on this new Pulp album. The whole album's great. There isn't a bad song on here. I feel like there are a couple songs on here, and Jarvis has always kind of been this way, but there are a few songs on the album that kind of, this is probably going to be a bold comparison, and Jarvis would probably roll his eyes at such a comparison, but there are a few songs that are very Leonard Cohen-ish, and I mean that as a compliment. Songs like Tina, the second song on the album, the vibe, the loungy kind of atmosphere, the background vocals, the backing vocals, I should say, very Leonard Cohen-ish. And I mean that as a compliment. I love Leonard Cohen. I think a lot of Jarvis songs have always sort of reminded me of the world of Leonard Cohen. And I think tracks like Tina are definitely capturing that. It's nothing new. Jarvis has always been like this. But you get that kind of variation on this album. You get some pop, like the first song, for example, Spike Island, is very upbeat, very poppy. But then after that, it turns into like a full-fledged Pulp album, I think. It's kind of moody, it's kind of fun, it's kind of serious, it's kind of melancholy, it's humorous, it's adventurous. It's just a fun album, and that's kind of how I've always thought of Pulp. They scratch a lot of itches. They cover a lot of bases. And the new album More absolutely does that. I quite frankly think it's their best album they've ever done, other than This Is Hardcore. And maybe once I listen to More a few more times, I might think it's their best album. That's how good I think this album is. Maybe it's just because I miss Pulp. Maybe it's because I missed Jarvis. Maybe it's because, I needed Pulp in my life. But like I explained before, Jarvis is one of those artists that I just love Jarvis. He's one of those guys that I feel like when he sings, he's singing directly to me. And again, I think that's why a lot of people love Jarvis, is he's got that ability. He breaks things down. He makes you laugh. He makes you cry. He's painfully honest. He's not afraid to expose himself and be vulnerable with his lyrics. He gives you all of himself. And what more can you ask for? In my opinion, that makes for a great artist. And that's why I love Jarvis. And that's why I love More. This new Pulp album is fantastic. I think anybody should listen to this album. Even if you're not a Pulp fan, if you're not a Jarvis fan, you should give this a shot. Again, this is coming from a big Jarvis fan and a Pulp fan as well. But I think this new album is fantastic. And that is what I have to say about it. Those are all the things I would have said in a normal video about this album. And now I'm going to go to the live stream, and nobody's here other than Hippie. What's up, Hippie? We're talking about Pulp here, so we need to keep it Pulp-centric. What do you have to say about Pulp, Hippie? And how's it going over there in the Netherlands, Holland, Rotterdam? How are you, man? I'm trying the live stream here. I'm going to have my normal thoughts about an album, and I'm going to invite people to join in with their comments, because I do like this. If I'm going to talk about new music, I would like to have a conversation with people about it instead of just showering the screen with my comments. I just got done talking about how I feel about this particular album. Hello, Jorge. How are you? Jorge, are you a Pulp fan? And what is your favorite Pulp song? And where are you from? I like to know where people are from when they join my live streams. Yeah, I just got done talking about the new album. I really like it. I'm an old Pulp fan. I'm not a huge Pulp fan. I just explained that earlier, but I do love Jarvis, and there are a couple of Pulp albums that I really love. This is Hardcore has always been my favorite, but this new one, I don't know, it's right up there. And normally it takes a while for an album to grow on me. But anyway, what do you guys think? Anybody in my live stream right now have anything to say about Pulp? That would be fantastic. I'm curious to know what you think about Pulp, or and specifically the new album. And nobody's going to come in. That's fine. That is more than fine. People can come back later. Sorry, Hippie. I want to keep it Pulp related here. I'm kind of trying a new thing. Yeah, check out Pulp. I mean, I don't know what you normally listen to, Hippie, but Pulp is just, I don't know, they're a pop band, really, if you're going to strip it down. They're a pop band, but I think what makes them special is Jarvis, the singer-songwriter. He's just a very interesting character, and he brings something new to music with Pulp. They're a very unique band, and in my opinion, it's because of Jarvis. And I think most people would probably agree with that. Anyway, I see there's somebody else here in the live stream. I am attempting to start a conversation about the new Pulp album. If no one shows up, that's fine. I was going to make a video about this album anyway. I figured I would give my thoughts and opinions at the very start of the video so people could check that out if they care, and then go to comments after that so people can tune out if they wish. No one's showing up to this live stream, so just as I suspected, this is a massive failure, and that's okay. That's totally fine. But I like having a conversation about music rather than shouting at the camera. I will still continue shouting at the camera all by myself without a live stream, but I thought I'd test this out. But yeah, I have Hippie. I'll do another surprise live stream at some point, but I think I'm going to cut this off. I don't want this going on too long. I had planned on having this go for no longer than an hour, but nobody's showing up. So I'm going to get out of here, and maybe people will watch this, maybe they won't. But I love Pulp more. Go check it out. I think it's a great album, and I'm going to be listening to it more today and probably more tomorrow. It's a very good album. I'll talk to you all later. Goodbye.